sorry for being late. It's John Carmelo's fault. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In lieu of district announcements, I don't have any, but I just want to introduce you to Mackenzie Miller, one of our first vaccinated kindergarten students at School 18, and she happens to be related to somebody up here. Public agenda. Public input on agenda and non-agenda items. I'm not going to read the paragraph. Please abide by the guidelines. If anybody has anything to say, please come up. Okay. I would like to formally welcome Imran Abbasi to our board table. This is his first meeting on this side of the world, so welcome.
Thank you very much.
And now, non-agenda items, superintendent update by Mr. Clement.
Thank you very much. I got a quick COVID update, and then I'll talk about something a little bit different. Governor Hochul announced late last week that she was going to give tests to every student in New York. Her initial plan was to have those in the hands of families so that they could test before the students came back to school this past Monday after the holiday break. The test didn't arrive. They were going through the BOCES, so the test didn't arrive in our BOCES until Saturday, January 1st, which is New Year's Day. Nobody's working, so we didn't get those until Monday afternoon. So she acknowledged, we had a meeting actually with the governor, with all the 500 superintendents on there. She acknowledged right after saying that the timeline probably wasn't going to work out. But we do still have the tests, and we are going to still get them to the families. There will be something going out tomorrow from my office announcing that the test will be going home with the students on Friday. The caveat that will be in the letter that goes home is that these tests are really just for peace of mind. They're a screening tool for the families so that they can feel comfortable. If they want to use them, they can save them for a time where they are feeling symptomatic or something else, so the student's feeling symptomatic. But they're not official tests. At-home tests are not being recognized at this point by Rensselaer County. We'll have that in the letter so the families understand that this is for them to use as they see fit or not use. But if they do get a positive result, they then have to follow up with a lab, pharmacy, or doctor's office to get an official positive result before any of our remote learning or quarantine or any of that comes into play. So it's a little bit confusing for people, so I'll try my best to clear that up as I send them out on Friday. I just wanted the board to hear that. And I'll certainly send the board the message once it's finalized. The second piece, I was talking to Ann and Ebony at these first meetings of the month when we don't have a building presentation. I asked if it was okay if we highlighted one of our new programs district-wide. It won't be a long, comprehensive, in-depth kind of thing, but just, we send things in the Friday report every week, but sometimes things deserve a little more than just a quick paragraph in the Friday report. So the first one of those is tonight, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Watson in a moment, but one of the things we've done, I believe Ms. Apicella just made a when she heard that Dr. Watson was the one presenting.
It's very brief.
And it wasn't me.
I did it for you. I promise Dr. Watson is going to be quick about it. This is very informal. Very informal. But one of the things we did with our stimulus money, we have some great things going on district-wide with the money that we received for the federal stimulus money. But one of them is this college and career readiness things that we have going on. And it's in every building throughout the district. makes sense at the high school level. We have some great things going on at the high school, but it's also, you know, our little kindergartners and our first graders. They're all doing something that has to do with college and career readiness, and we have a liaison in every building, sometimes two, sharing it, and it's just been really received very, very well. So we wanted to highlight that program tonight for you very quickly. Yes,
Yes.
Dr. Watson.
So I just wanted to start quickly with the mission statement. And when we sit down and think about what are the program enhancements we want to make, we really do come back to, you know, this mission statement and operationalizing what it is that we are here to do. And the presentation tonight speaks to that last piece, making sure that all of our kids, not just a select group in a certain program at the high school, but all of our kids, kindergarten to grade 12, are college and career ready. So the liaisons, we were really excited, and thank you to the board for your support of these positions. As Mr. Carmelo said, one in every school, and if I just jump ahead, there they are. I won't read all the names, but if you have friends in any of these schools, you can look and see the name of the College and Career Exploration Liaison. So it's a mix. It's teachers, it's administrator, it's counselors, it's a variety of different people, you know, for their normal job, and then this is an additional liaison type position. So the first two things that they've done have to do with assessing the students. So this is not an ELA test or a math test. It's a really exciting assessment because every student is really telling us what it is that they love to do. What do they love? What don't they like doing? You know, do they like working in small groups? Do they like working alone? Do they like playing in a garden? Do they like dancing? You know, it's really about helping kids to really find their passion. And we're using a tool at the elementary level called Pause in Jobland for kindergarten, actually through 6th grade. So the middle school did ask that the 6th graders could use that program as well. Then when we get to the high school, we're using Naviance, which is a program that helps us to examine career clusters for more of a high school approach. The students are already using that through their cluster account. And then we've talked about sharing personal adult pathways and renaming of some hallways. And we have some slides from School 2 that Principal Cloco was kind enough to send me. So this is happening everywhere, but we are going to feature a couple slides specific to School 2. So I did send a link to a video in the Friday report one week. If you have some time, it's super cute to check this out. Basically, Pause is that little dog in the lower left-hand corner, and he walks around Jobland, and it's like a, you know, an imaginary community with jobs all over the place. And so students help Pause to kind of navigate their assessment, and then he goes back to Jobland, and based on what they filled out about their own interests and, you know, talents, it will light up certain things like education or healthcare or, you know, careers in finance or service industry, whatever. It really helps them to do that. So that's at the elementary level. At the high school, it's that Naviance piece, and I know this is small, but this is sort of how the high school kids are accessing their assessment. And I think at the high school there are 3 liaisons, and I think at this point, and I know Mr. Mariano's in the audience, I think they've managed to assess pretty much everyone through the PE classes. I think they were going back to get some B-Day kids or something like that, but so the entire high school pretty much already career assessed. So it's really super exciting. And this isn't a test that kids like to do. It's sort of an interest inventory if you ever did one. So it's from the students themselves. So I think that just by virtue of it being about them, they are more motivated to do it. So we've also started sharing our college pathways, one adult at a time, and this has been an initiative that I think Sam Aronowitz created it first, but then shared it with the other college and career liaisons, and they've done it too. So basically, different teachers and counselors, the nurse, really all the adults in the school are sort of putting together these slides. So this is Mrs. DeBruce. She's a teacher at School 2. She went to UAlbany. And I just have a couple in here. This is Mr. Andre Lin. He's a teaching assistant at School 2, and he went to Morgan State University. I'm sorry, yeah, Morgan. Nurse Mandy went to the Samaritan Hospital School of Nursing, so if somebody has an interest in the healthcare, they can kind of get with Nurse Mandy. And then Ms. O'Malley is an instructional coach, and she was at the College of St. Rose and also the Sage Colleges. And so a variety of different adults who are working in the schools. And Mr. Carmelo and I are working on our slides as well, so they can be included. His might have had a long-haired mullet, maybe, picture, so we're trying to get our hands on that picture so that we can update his slides. We thought that could be fun. And so then sharing the college pathways one hallway at a time, because sometimes it's as simple as just exposing students and giving them, you know, some examples of where we went or where you might go or, you know, what your future might be. And so these are just a couple. This is the RPI hallway. I'll get my glasses on. Howard Hall. I think there are 4 there, right? Yeah.
Howard, RPI, and Hampton.
Yes, thank you, Principal Colquitt. So you can see, so there are lots of visuals for students, and I don't know if we'll change them year to year or how that might look. And each of the other schools are doing very similar things. Like in Dr. Ford's building, I was at School 16 for a building visit recently, and he has like the Jobland, a map of like all these different communities outside of classrooms where kids are talking about jobs and they're writing about, you know, what their assessment, you know, suggested to them and what that might mean now and in the future. And there was something at Carroll Hill where there was, Ms. Fitzgerald was telling me about, I think it was some first graders who were doing snowmen, like my goal right now, but then my long-term goal, what I want to be. So you can see the evidence, the impact already, even in just a few weeks that we've done this, with kids starting to assess themselves and to just think about what are jobs today, and what is something that I might personally be interested in. And so I think this, yeah, this is the last slide. So next steps. So far we have assessed almost everyone. So I know there are some people finishing up, but everybody will have done that interest inventory, that self-career assessment, and they'll have that data. The next step is for the liaisons to work with teachers and counselors to make sure we're grouping students by cluster. So there's different career clusters, and then linking those results to jobs that exist today. So if your assessment showed this, this, or this, we're going to set up opportunities for you to shadow somebody. We're going to arrange for a guest speaker, either in person or remotely, mentoring, an internship, a field trip. It can be virtual or in person. So you can see not just grouping students by what their tests showed or their assessment showed, but then expanding our partnerships with industries, not just in Troy, but around the world. Because now, I mean, the world is flat, really, and kids are working all over the world remotely, and so really just expanding that. And again, we've had a lot of these type of activities in place in the district, but it's been for pockets of students or students in the CEIP program or you know, specialized programs or P-TECH, or, you know, there's a lot of things happening, but this is the first time we're saying every kid, every year. And so if you're thinking of a kindergarten student who did this and learned about 2 or 3 jobs and then did that 12 years in a row, it's just going to raise the level of readiness for our kids to make informed decisions. So the elementary level, kind of finding your passion, and then the secondary level is preparing them to launch beyond our district and to be successful and to hopefully save them money so they don't have to pursue something and go, I don't like that at all. I wish I knew what I was getting into down the road. So again, that's it. We'll end of story. But just a little brief update about something that's really exciting. You know, we've been talking a lot about COVID and some of the challenges, and this has been a real, you know, happy place in the district. People are really excited about this work. People are eager to share things, and it's generating a lot of energy among our students. So I encourage you, if you have children or grandchildren or neighbors, ask them what their assessment showed them, ask them what they're learning about, and hopefully they can all, no matter what grade they're in, they can all speak to the relevance of this work.
Great job. Thank you very much. So again, we'll have something each time. February, there was an one of our art shows was canceled this year because of COVID, and so Cindy Donna Drake, who's our art curriculum leader, asked if she could set up an art show here and then talk a little about it. So February will be our district art program with student work and you know, a little presentation. Again, short, all will be informal too. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
For keeping it there.
My pleasure.
It's always good to hear. Before I go on with the agenda, I'd like to say that it's really good that I see a lot of Troy graduate names on our sheet. It's really good to have employ our own because they know what and who we are, so thank you for that. Motion on the floor for approval of minutes.
Second.
All those, discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion on the floor for business superintendent recommendation, human resources, staff matters, unclassified and classified, consent agenda items on unclassified 1 through 12.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Classified agenda items 1 through 3. Motion on the floor for classified.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Superintendent recommendations program, consent agenda 1 and 2.
Second. Discussion?
All those in favor? Opposed? Superintendent recommendation, business finance. Motion on the floor for item number 1.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Board resolutions. Motion on the floor for consent agenda items 1 through 11.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? The number 12 of this agenda will be a walk-on green sheet. Okay, motion as read. Appeal the superintendent's determination. Resolved, the Board of Education, upon consideration of the appeal of the student named in executive session regarding the determination of the superintendent of schools following a hearing held pursuant to education law number 3214, hereby denies the appeal in its entirety and affirms the decision of the superintendent of schools and further directs the district clerk notify the student of this determination.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Wow. We have future meetings. Does anybody have anything else? Anybody have any good news? Anybody want to share anything with us? Okay. Future meeting, January 19th, 2022 at School 18, 6 o'clock. February 2nd, 2022 here, and present the art show. February 16th at School 2 at 6 o'clock, principal presentation. Motion on the floor to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.